What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was gonna expose.
My friend Luther was gay.
He struggled with the idea of coming out publicly. Was that something that you talked about at all?
But he wasn't gonna come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans.
Are you in a good place now in your life?
Depends on when you ask me whether or not it's a good place.
Are you happy?
It depends. It also depends on when you ask.
Katt Williams is stepping up big time as a whistleblower, pulling back the curtain on the dark truths lurking beneath the glitz and glam of Hollywood. He's not backing down, dropping bombshells left and right that are rocking the entertainment scene to its core.
And the fact of the matter is, we watched this nigga get murdered right in front of our own face. And the nigga knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
Alongside spilling the beans on the supposed conspiracy swirling around Michael Jackson's death, Katt Williams hasn't shied away from tackling another important issue: the way Black actors are often pigeonholed into roles that involve wearing feminine attire in the entertainment biz. He's not afraid to speak his mind about the industry's stereotypes and injustices.
And it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well.
Katt Williams isn't one to tiptoe around touchy subjects, even if they make some folks squirm. And it seems like his boldness has rubbed certain corners of the industry the wrong way. There have been plenty of signs pointing to Hollywood trying to give Katt the cold shoulder because he refuses to water down his message.
Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with him. You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16.
Clive Davis, a real industry bigwig, no doubt about it. But like most big shots in the biz, he's got his fair share of scandals and controversies. There have been all sorts of allegations thrown at him, questions about his personal life, and whispers about the not-so-glamorous side of those annual parties he throws. And hey, let's not forget those rumors about him supposedly making Diddy get on his knees for funding Bad Boy Records, if you catch my drift.
Diddy and Clive Davis, have they ever had anything past business? Because
Diddy's path crossed with Clive's when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist aiming to break into the competitive music industry. His innovative hip-hop concepts captivated Clive, who was seeking an artist capable of forging a genuine connection with the audience. Recalling their first meeting, Clive shared that he found exactly what he was looking for in Diddy. Puffy was 23 years old, and I knew the artists I had, Aretha, Dion, Whitney, represented one kind of music, Davis says. LaFace ushered in blue-collar R&B at its height. But sensing the hip-hop revolution, both LA and I agreed that we could use someone really attuned to the street. You gotta know what you can do for yourself, and you gotta know when you need to look to other people. At that time, Diddy was working under Andre Harali at Uptown Records. However, meeting Clive Davis marked a turning point in his career, as Clive's impactful words left a lasting impression on the young artist. When I met with Puffy, he articulated that hip-hop should be part of the top 40 mainstream, and that the business would change in the future, Davis continues. And I said, "What have you got to illustrate that point?" And he played me Craig Max Flava in your ear, and he played me the then unknown artist that he felt and believed in so strongly. He played me 4 or 5 cuts from Notorious Big. Diddy's words held compelling force, persuading Clive to quickly approve and acknowledge that Diddy had effectively communicated his vision.
Decided to get on your knees and beg the demon for some bread, and all he gave you was crumbs. That's all he ever really gives anybody. Whatever millions Puff has put into somebody's pocket.
On one end of the spectrum, Clive Davis is widely regarded as a revered and accomplished producer, known for his ability to nurture a diverse range of artists and create musical hits that have significantly influenced the industry. His legacy and practices have firmly established him as a pivotal figure in shaping the music landscape.
Consistent with what you're writing about, you could go from one side of the stage to the other.
On the flip side, there exists a contrasting perception of Clive Davis. Some voices suggest a different narrative, portraying Davis as a man with a more complex and controversial persona. Critics label him as one of the first gay gatekeepers of the industry, allegedly exerting influence through manipulation and a calculated demeanor. And rumor has it that he has also manipulated Diddy. That is why he get involved in evil things. Such claims paint a picture of a shrewd operator who wields power behind the scenes, orchestrating moves that go beyond the public eye. These contrasting views highlight the multifaceted nature of Davis's legacy and the differing interpretations of his influence within the music industry.
He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
And that's what Katt is now seemingly asserting, that Clive may be involved in a Luther Vandross as well. But how can this all happen? Luther Vandross, the renowned king of R&B in the 1980s and 1990s, started his musical journey from the bustling streets of Manhattan in 1951. As the youngest of 4 siblings, Luther faced early challenges when his father passed away during his childhood. However, his mother ensured that their home was filled with the vibrant sounds of gospel, soul, and doo-wop music. Luther drew inspiration from his older sister Patricia, a member of the successful doo-wop group The Crests, who scored a hit in 1958 with 16 Candles. Despite encountering numerous obstacles along the way, Luther remained steadfast in his talent and dedication. Even after a stroke slowed him down in 2003, he continued to achieve Grammy Awards and create musical masterpieces that enchanted audiences.
Hello, everybody. I wish I could be with you there tonight. I want to thank everyone and for your love and support.
In high school, Luther Vandross fell hard for the soulful sounds of Motown's girl groups and the gospel vibes of artists like Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston. With dreams of a music career, he gave college a shot at Western Michigan University, but his heart was set on something bigger.
He was at the very top of all-time male singers.
He was one of a kind.
His big break came in '72 when a song he penned, Everybody Rejoice, made it into the Broadway hit The Wiz. But the real game changer was landing a gig as a backup singer for David Bowie, where he also got to flex his vocal arranging skills on Bowie's Young Americans album.
But he was on the brink of a rebirth. I think he saw it that way, and I think that was apparent to everyone around him.
After that, Luther was in demand as a backup singer and arranger for a bunch of big names, from Bette Midler to Barbra Streisand. He even made some cash on the side singing jingles incognito. In the late 70s, he got busy recording under different names and jamming with groups like Bionic Boogie and Change. You might have even heard his smooth voice on Chic's hit Dance, Dance, Dance. During the 70s, while he was still grinding to the top, Luther did some voice work for commercials, like for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and provided backup vocals for some heavy hitters like David Bowie, Chaka Khan, and Donna Summer. He even sang with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards in a group called Luther before they went on to form Chic. But Luther wasn't settling. He wanted creative control over his music, which made it tough to find the right record deal. He kept hustling though, working on projects with legends like Quincy Jones while he searched for his big break.
He had had a 2 or 3 year period where he was not selling the way that he had.
Luther's singing style was all about simplicity and grace, with smooth vocals and impeccable timing. But sadly, his image got slapped with some labels he wasn't too thrilled about, like being called the master of bedroom music and pigeonholed as a ladies-only act. On top of that, he had to deal with a heap of personal and health issues, and so his life was way too difficult. Luther battled with binge eating, and his weight went up and down like a roller coaster, ranging from 190 to 340 pounds on his tall frame of 6'3". The constant pressures of his career and the ups and downs of his personal and romantic life didn't make things any easier for him.
He loved eating, he loved food.
He wouldn't eat to fill that void.
Despite never tying the knot, Luther faced persistent rumors about his S, with speculation swirling about whether he was gay. He never confirmed or denied these rumors, but they definitely put a dent in his image as a ladies' man.
Conspiracies still exist about Luther even years after his death.
Patti LaBelle caused a stir online when she revealed a long-held secret about R&B icon Luther Vandross during a live television interview. In an appearance on Bravo's Watch, What Happens Live, with Andy Cohen, LaBelle confirmed rumors that had circulated for years. Vandross was gay. Additionally, she shared that her close friend and fellow musician grappled with the decision to come out publicly throughout his life. He did not want his mother to be upset, although she might have known he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world, she revealed. And he had a lot of lady fans. He told me that he just didn't want to upset the world, she added. It was hard for him. The concept of outing carries significant weight within the LGBTQ community. Throughout history, disclosing one's S or gender identity, even voluntarily, has been perilous in a society where LGBTQ individuals face ridicule and often physical harm. Despite advancements in civil rights and societal acceptance, coming out continues to be a courageous act. For Black individuals who identify as LGBTQ, the stakes are even higher. It's undoubtedly a daunting thought to consider the internal struggle Luther Vandross must have faced contemplating the prospect of being an openly gay Black man during the peak of his music career in the 1980s. As a celebrated S symbol in the R&B world, deeply intertwined with the African American church and broader Black culture, his revelation would have undoubtedly reverberated through the community.
Luther Vandross's lifestyle has been the subject of rumor and gossip.
In an era where homophobia and the pressure of toxic masculinity loomed large, Vandross lacked the assurance of being accepted and loved for his talents regardless of his S. The absence of a supportive historical context would have only added to his uncertainty and anxiety.
He never admitted to being gay, though. That was the interesting thing, is because I remember reading this interview before he passed, and
yeah, so maybe I shouldn't. Luther, I don't know his girlfriend.
Indeed, while figures like Boy George and Elton John were visible in the pop world, Luther Vandross would have stood as a singular presence in the R&B realm as an openly gay artist. Being a trailblazer in the face of such oppression is undeniably daunting, especially when navigating the intersecting challenges of racism and homophobia. During that era, male musicians often carried the weight of being a fantasy for female fans. For Luther Vandross, whose velvety voice captivated audiences, being gay was perceived as detrimental to his marketability. The real tragedy lies not in Patti LaBelle outing Vandross without his consent, but in the societal pressure that forced him to conceal his true self.
And he had a lot of lady fans, and he told me that he just didn't want to upset the world.
In truth, Vandross seemed indifferent to the speculation surrounding his S. He neither confirmed nor denied it. His silence speaks volumes about the constraints placed upon him by societal expectations and the music industry at the time. In a 2001 interview with Vibe, Vandross jokingly responded to the years-long chatter about his S. "What do you want to know?" he asked. "Am I bi-coastal? Yeah, I have houses in Beverly Hills and New York. I know that I'm paying a price for being so private, and I do wonder if it's worth it," he added. Who would have wanted to come out in such a nasty climate? Nothing about being out at that time seemed safe or worthwhile. Like any black gay man, closeted or not, Vandross only desired what anyone wanted out of life: love and happiness. In the same Vibe interview, Vandross admitted that he had never been in love. "I'm still waiting," he said. "The time that I've spent being in love has never been reciprocated. Those are just the circumstances." At the tender age of 16, he encountered his initial taste of unrequited affection. The reply was a simple, "Thank you, but I'm not interested," he reminisced. "It stung deeply, leaving me feeling isolated and disconnected. I yearn for the simple joys of domestic life," he confessed. "I long for someone who isn't bound by employment to genuinely care about my whereabouts." Maybe that is why he never married in his life. Renowned for soulful classics such as Dance with My Father and Never Too Much, Luther Vandross captivated audiences worldwide with his captivating voice and musical genius. Despite his immense popularity, questions often linger regarding Vandross's place of birth and personal life. Vandross never married and did not have children during his lifetime. According to his close friend and colleague Bruce Valanche, Vandross shared a significant relationship with a man during the late 1980s and early 1990s, although the identity of his partner remains undisclosed. Patti LaBelle also affirmed this aspect of Vandross's life in December 2017, shedding light on this aspect of his personal journey. Ironically, a man celebrated for serenading audiences worldwide with love songs, crafting a timeless soundtrack for generations, found himself unfamiliar with the very love he sang about. It remains uncertain whether Vandross ever did encounter that fairy tale love before his passing. Nevertheless, it's saddening that he grappled with the challenge of openly embracing his true self.
Are you in a good place now in your life?
Depends on when you ask me whether or not it's a good place.
Are you happy?
It depended.
Even in 2017, while we are witnessing improved LGBTQ representations in media, there's a notable absence of such representation in music, particularly within the R&B genre. Presently, Frank Ocean stands as the sole openly gay black man in mainstream R&B. This stark reality highlights the considerable distance we still need to traverse toward inclusivity and representation. Regrettably, we'll never ascertain whether Luther would have felt empowered to come out, akin to his former J Records boss, Clive Davis, who did so in 2013. What remains clear is that Luther's obscured truth is a product of an industry and a society tarnished by bigotry. Should Patti LaBelle have felt compelled to confirm Vandross's S? Perhaps not. However, what truly matters little is that Vandross spent his 54 years living to meet others' expectations, constrained by societal pressures that hindered his authenticity. On top of everything, Luther dealt with health issues like diabetes, the same disease that claimed his father's life. In '86, he was involved in a car crash where tragically, one of his close friends lost their life. Luther faced a charge of vehicular manslaughter, but it was later reduced to reckless driving, mainly due to speeding. In the 90s, Luther's career was on fire. He teamed up with Mariah Carey for a Kayer duet on Endless Love in '94, hitting the top 40. Plus, he dropped his own version of Always and Forever, which shot straight to #1 on the R&B charts, becoming a signature track for him.
Each moment with you, yeah.
Not only in his professional life, but in his personal life also, he was always a caring colleague, and he always cared for his friend Whitney Houston. Many people, like Luther, suspect eerie circumstances surrounding Whitney's death, suggesting a potential mystery. What's particularly concerning is the reported meeting between Whitney and Clive Davis shortly before her demise, followed by her being found dead not long after. As the investigation intensifies, focus is increasingly turning towards Clive.
Toxicology reports showed she drowned in her bathtub accidentally because of use and heart disease. But Paul Hubel, he says that is not the case. He is sending key evidence to the FBI.
Clive Davis is a highly influential figure in the music industry, renowned for his immense power and track record of success. He notably launched Arista Records, where he signed numerous major black acts, showcasing his talent for spotting musical potential. His roster of signed artists is impressive and includes Patti Smith, The Outlaws, Eric Carmen, Exposé, Ace of Base, Air Supply, Dionne Warwick, Ray Parker and Radio, Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. Davis also played a key role in giving Puff Daddy his start in establishing Bad Boy Records. However, his most significant success came from discovering and nurturing Whitney Houston's career.
By spending time with her when the picture was inescapable. There were 2 times, one live, where she came to my home, where we had a personal...
Astounded by Houston's exceptional singing talent and her wholesome image, Clive recognized the opportunity to launch her into superstardom. This move not only greatly benefited Whitney, but also significantly boosted Clive Davis's net worth, reportedly reaching close to $800 million. However, as Whitney Houston navigated the complexities of the music industry, she, like many others, began to notice peculiar and unsettling occurrences. In her 2002 interview with Diane Sawyer, she openly addressed the challenges she faced and the personal struggles she battled, shedding light on the darker aspects of the industry. Whitney appeared uneasy and cautious at times, revealing that she felt a sense of inner conflict and acknowledged struggles with personal demons.
I think I kind of reverted back as I got older and said, well, I'm just gonna party, you know? It was kind of a rebel in me.
During her interview, Whitney Houston discussed her disputes with Clive Davis and suggested a conspiracy against her, inadvertently making herself vulnerable. Exploiting her past struggles with addiction, individuals sought to undermine her credibility and discredit her revelations. The unexpected and shocking news of her death came as a profound tragedy, especially given the circumstances surrounding it. It was a sorrowful twist of fate that deeply affected the music world. Tragically, the entertainment industry has seen many instances where artists, facing the demanding nature of their work, succumbed to substance A. Whitney Houston was no exception. Her ongoing battle with addiction and health issues cast a shadow over her career until it reached an irreversible tipping point.
It's my deciding. It's my heart. It's what I want and what I don't want. Nobody makes me do anything I don't want to do.
The tragic events unfolded on February 11, 2012, the day before the scheduled Grammy Awards. On that day, music industry luminaries gathered in Los Angeles for the Grammys, and Whitney Houston, accompanied by her family and friends, checked into the Beverly Hilton Hotel. A customary event preceding the Grammys was Clive Davis hosting a pre-Grammy party, with Houston's mentor playing a central role. As preparations for the evening continued, Houston's assistant, Mary Jones, briefly left the room after arranging Houston's dress on the bed. What occurred during this short absence, leading to the discovery of Houston unconscious and face down in a water-filled bathtub upon Jones's return, remained a mystery until insights were provided by the coroner's report. Sadly, Houston was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:55 p.m. on the same day.
Good morning, George. It happened here at 3:43 yesterday afternoon when a member of Houston's entourage located her body inside this hotel. So far, police and the coroner are refusing.
During the investigation, police found an open champagne bottle and a spoon with a white crystal-like substance near Whitney Houston. Additionally, various medications, including an antidepressant, a muscle relaxant, and allergy medication, were discovered in her system during the autopsy. The coroner's report, released weeks later, attributed Houston's death to heart disease, D-use, and accidental drowning. It was also revealed that Houston had a mild case of emphysema, contributing to the gradual loss of her powerful voice. Numerous speculations about Houston's personal life emerged in films, documentaries, and biopics, both before and after her death. Despite the scrutiny, Houston's musical talent and soulful voice remained unwavering. Clive Davis, on the other hand, is celebrated as a highly accomplished producer, revered for nurturing diverse artists and creating enduring musical masterpieces. masterpieces. His innovative practices have firmly established him as a pivotal figure in shaping the modern music landscape.
Consistent with what you're writing about, you could go from one side of the stage to the other.
While Clive has earned acclaim for his musical productions, he now finds himself at the center of discussions regarding his romantic life. After 2 marriages and divorces, Clive embarked on a journey of self-discovery, openly exploring the possibility of being attracted to men as well.
I opened myself up after the failure of my second marriage, having read something about.
During this period of self-reflection, Clive came to the realization that his SO was not exclusively hetero-S, marking a significant departure from the convictions he held during the first 5 decades of his life.
I opened myself up to the possibility of a relationship based on the person and not on.
In his published works, he described the Studio 54 Inches era, a period when he was married to his second spouse, Janet Adelberg. On this night, after imbibing enough A, I was open to responding to his S overtures, Davis wrote. Was I nervous? Absolutely. Did the heavens open up? No, but it was satisfying. The experience prompted a period of soul-searching and self-analysis. Following his separation from Adelberg in 1985, Davis entered into relationships with individuals of various genders. From 1990 onward, he has been involved in 2 enduring relationships, both with male partners. You don't have to be only one thing or another, Davis said in an interview with U.S. chat show host Katie Couric. I opened myself up to the possibility that I could have a relationship with a man as well as the 2 that I had with a woman. In another chat with Nightline, Davis complained that BS is maligned and misunderstood. For over 50 years, I never had S with a male, he said. It wasn't repressed. I had very good S relationships with women. Clive said that he is not ashamed of his S orientation. He said, but I never stopped being attracted to women. Bi-S is misunderstood. The adage is that you're either straight or gay or lying, but that's not my experience. To call me anything other than bi-S would be inaccurate. However, his alleged most talked parties with open use of all types of Ds and Whitney's dead body full of Ds also suggest that he may be involved in her death, or at least may have introduced her to Ds. And more importantly, he was the last person she met before her demise. And reports have suggested that Luther Vandross tried to protect Whitney from Clive Davis. That is why people have suggested that Clive may have also a Luther, as he mentored him as well. His album Dance With My Father, recorded before he got sick, dropped and blew up, earning him 4 Grammys, including Song of the Year. It also snagged him his first #1 album on the pop charts and 4 NAACP Image Awards. Even though he couldn't be there in person, his talent still shone bright. At the age of 54, Luther Vandross, the beloved musician, passed away from a heart attack on July 1, 2005, at JFK Medical Center in Edison, New Jersey. He left behind his mother, Mary Ida Vandross, who played a significant role in promoting her son's final work, which went on to win Grammy Awards despite Luther's severe health challenges.
I can see from this medical investigator's report that Luther Vandross died from acute cardiac arrhythmia, which tells me his heartbeat was catastrophically disrupted.
As reported by MTV, Luther Vandross received treatment at a New York hospital during a critical period. Regrettably, he was unable to attend the Grammy Awards that year, despite it being a pinnacle moment in his career. Vandross clinched 4 awards that night, including the prestigious Best R&B Album. However, his health prevented him from being present, and he graciously accepted these accolades through a video message, as noted by AllMusic. The Grammy Awards official website commemorates this poignant moment, highlighting Vandross's resilience as he conveyed a message of love and strength despite his ailing condition. He delivered his acceptance speech on the video. "Remember, when I say goodbye, it's never for long," he said, breaking into a signature hit. "Because I believe in the power of love." Luther Vandross was honored in a solemn ceremony held at Riverside Church in New York City, where friends, family, and prominent figures from the music industry gathered to pay their respects. Esteemed artists including Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, and Whitney Houston delivered heartfelt tributes and musical performances, celebrating Vandross's life and legacy. Following the ceremony, Vandross was laid to rest at the George Washington Memorial Park in Paramus, New Jersey, marking his final resting place. The outpouring of love and admiration from those who attended the service reflected Vandross's profound impact on the music world and the lives of countless fans. Vandross's health struggles, compounded by hypertension and diabetes, were well documented by The Sun. The stroke he suffered severely impacted his speech and singing abilities, necessitating the use of a wheelchair. He made a final final public appearance on Oprah Winfrey's show in May 2004 before his passing on July 1, 2005, at the age of 54. JFK Medical Center in New Jersey, as reported by Billboard, announced his peaceful passing, attributing it to complications from the stroke from which he had not fully recovered.
When a music legend dies relatively young, in many cases there's a history of substance abuse, culminating in chronic illness or sudden death.
The journey to fame was fraught with challenges for Vandross, as highlighted by AllMusic. His legal battle against Sony Music Entertainment, stemming from a prolonged personal service contract beyond legal limits, stands as a testament to the complexities he faced. Consequently, his abrupt halt in the midst of a significant comeback was a devastating blow for his devoted fan base. One of his fans wrote, "Who cares what his S was? We freaking love him. I think addiction to certain foods may be the hardest to battle imho. What a beautiful man. What a beautiful talent. R.I.P. Mr. Vandross." Another one added, "We were robbed. What a man. What a voice. What talent. Thank you for the great music that you left us with." Unfortunately, this escape often takes the form of D or A pattern with dangerous consequences, as history has shown. Many celebrities have fallen victim to addiction, which tends to insidiously and abruptly infiltrate their lives, causing havoc. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.